Hello, Nursing 452 students. It's Dr. Piontek here. I just wanted to go over, I'm doing this midweek because I want to cover modules 7 and 8 together. So let's go ahead into module 7. If you look at the objectives, you will be completing your 40 hours of service, learning, or activity experience based on the BSN Essentials. Or if you've worked with a preceptor, you will be wrapping up your 40 hours with your preceptor. Be sure that all of your hours are covered by your journal entries for full credit. And then if you are with a preceptor, you will submit your clinical evaluation and your preceptor evaluation, and you can have your preceptor either email me, or if your preceptor gives you their evaluation of you, you can send that to me. And I've gotten most of those of you who are doing a preceptorship, I have received most of you, of those of you who are doing that, I've received that from your preceptor. So if there's any questions, just give me a holler. And then what you'll do is you'll submit your clinical practicum log in with the journal tab. Okay, so that way then if there's any question about the number of journal entries that reflect the number of hours that you've completed, I can take a look at your journal log, your practicum log and your journals that indicate the number of hours that you've completed for that day, and I can match that up and then credit you those journal points accordingly. As you may have seen in my feedback, there were some questions about, well, how are journals graded? And so for every hour of practicum time that you've completed, I credit you 0.5 points. So that way then the 40 practicum hours that you've completed equate to 20 points within the journal. So if you have questions about that, please let me know. I know it does sound very complicated, but that's kind of how it just worked out. And then with Module 7, let's go ahead and go into that real quickly. So by now, all of you should have completed your presentation or are near completing your presentation to your chosen population. If you have not done so, or we have not spoken about going into the 8th week, please let me know, because again, that's 40 points of this grade, and we really have to get that presentation completed so that way then you can make the grade for this course. So looking at this, then here's the journal entry tab that you can submit your clinical practicum log. You can also submit, I know there isn't a entry for your preceptor evaluation or the clinical practicum site evaluation. You can also submit that in the journal as well if you've completed those. I will take a look at those and again, just kind of cluster them into your profile. And then finally, the final project presentation. So if you have created your, or if you've presented rather to your population and for this week, for example, you can submit that here. If you've already submitted that in week 6, that's great. I'm in the process of grading those. It does take some time. I sometimes watch videos a couple of times just because if I miss something, or sometimes there might be a little bit of a lag in the delivery of the video, not on your end, but on my end, just because of my internet. Sometimes I'll go back in and view that a couple of times. So I am in the process of reviewing the videos. So far, everyone is doing a fantastic job. You guys are rocking it. So be very proud of the work that you're doing. And so again, if you've done your video and you've not uploaded it yet, you can do that here in this tab. And then we are doing the initial post for discussion board number 4 this week. So you can go ahead and submit that. And let's go ahead then into Module 8. Like I said, I wanted to cover both of these. That's why it's kind of weird that I haven't posted anything on Monday, but I wanted to kind of cover both of these at the same time just because we're wrapping things up early next week. We only have Monday through Thursday for module. The course officially ends Thursday, December the 12th at 5 p.m. So everything needs to be turned in by that deadline. So for module 8, you're going to post your response post to your peers in the discussion board. And then we have the Share It presentation. And what this Share It presentation is, it's an opportunity for you to share your experience with your classmates. So it really is just a one-to-one. You're creating a video presentation, and you can do this by doing YouTube, or if you have a YouTube account, you can create a video directly into YouTube, or you can use Screencast-O-Matic, which is what I use currently, and it gives you up to 15 minutes of recording time. Your Share It presentation really only needs to be 5 to 10 minutes in length. You don't have to go into great detail, and there's a rubric here too that can help you so you understand, well, what is it that she's looking for. You basically are going to be introducing yourself, why you chose the purpose of your presentation, identify the organization, community, or population you chose to address the health-related issue, introduce your topic for your project, how did you do your presentation, was this through a health fair, did you do a PowerPoint, a poster, and then so on and so forth. So you can just kind of go through this rubric, and as long as you're hitting all of these bullet points, you're going to get full credit. So most people do really, really well on this, and they tend to really like sharing their experiences with their classmates. So again, this is a presentation of you just sitting in front of the camera, talking to your classmates about your experience with your project. So that is the rubric that I will use to evaluate your Share It presentation. And I think that pretty much wraps up the remaining assignments. So I do want to just share with you. Now this is going to look very empty because I'm actually showing it to you as though I am a student. So I don't submit any work, obviously. But I just wanted to show you, if you go into My Grades, and you'll see the items. These are the assignments that are all due for this course. And then if you notice way over here in the right-hand column, it has the point values. Okay, so like for example, some assignments did not have point values. The getting ready for clinical activities didn't, that wasn't worth any points. And then down here, the submitting that nursing 451 paper from that last half a semester in 451, that big paper that you created, that was not worth any points either. That was just basically an opportunity for me to see what your intention was in 451 and then moving forward into this course. So it's not, if you've not submitted that's okay, because I know a lot of you have changed your projects from 451 to 452. So it really would not be applicable for me to read that and so on and so forth. So that's why we don't really assign points to that. So you'll notice the discussion boards that are outlined here, and then the first key player interview response, the practicum planning assessment, the population health project draft, the final project presentation, which is that video that you'll upload, or if I was able to see your presentation in person, I did a grade override. So if that was the case for you, you would have already received a grade. You'll see that in your grade book. And then the Share It presentation and the journals, okay? And then finally the course evaluation. So you'll notice over here, whenever you submit anything, you'll actually see a yellow circle with an exclamation point. That means that you've successfully submitted something, and it's in my queue to grade. So, you know, like I said, as I've been grading things, you'll notice a grade then. So like module 1, if you hit all those points in the discussion board for discussion board 1, which covered modules 1 and 2, you would have gotten a 4 out of 4. Your first key player interview responses, as long as you hit all those points, you got a 5 out of 5, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, because if you're missing anything in the grade book, please try to turn that in sometime this week or next week, definitely by next week. So that way then you get the full credit, or the maximum points that you can get for this course. And then finally, the course evaluation is this tab here. Let me just move that. So you'll click on that, and it will give you actually a sign-in page. And you just use your McKendree credentials. So it'll be like the first part of your McKendree email. So for example, mine is AJ Piontek. You don't have to put like @mckendree.edu. And then the next one is your password, and that's the password that you sign into Blackboard or to your email. So your credentials are the same. And then you'll go into My Courses, and you'll simply select Nursing 452. And then you'll just complete that course evaluation then. And that course evaluation, if you notice, is actually worth 2 points. So you will get credit for that. And it is anonymous. I won't see any of the comments until after 2 weeks. So I just wanted to share that with you. So I hope that answers any questions, and you know, all of you are doing a wonderful job in this course, and I'm just delighted with the detail and projects that you've completed. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.